Okay, ladies, so we're going to finish up the basic conversions. So remember, these are things that you're going to come across probably quite often in this course. So even if you don't come across it over the next little while, you will come across it often in grade 11 and 12 Chem, okay? So we left off, there was a couple of questions that we still need to finish up. So one of them was converting millimeters to nanometers. Okay, so let's look at that one right now, okay? So according to your table, relative to the base unit, what's a millimeter? 10 to the negative 3? Okay. So a millimeter is 10 to the negative 3. What's a nanometer? Equals 10 to the negative 9, right? So what's the bigger unit? And the MCAP keeps erasing here. What's the bigger unit? How many times bigger? 6. So according to this, a millimeter, 1 millimeter, because it's 10 to the 6 times bigger, right? So 1 millimeter should be the same as 10 to the 6 nanometers. Or 1 nanometer would be the same as 10 to the negative 6 millimeters. They're the same thing. You could say it either way. You could say that 1 millimeter is the same as 10 to the 6 nanometers, or you could say 1 nanometer is the same as 1 millionth, or 10 to the negative 6 millimeters. Okay? It's the same thing. So in this case, we want to go from millimeters to nanometers, right? So we have 0.00078 millimeters, and we want to have an answer in nanometers. So just by looking at this, you can tell that we need to get rid of millimeters, and we need to have nanometers in the numerator. Okay? So we could say that, well, you could use this one or this one. Doesn't matter. So if we use this one, we could say, well, 10 to the 6 nanometers is the same as 1 millimeter. If I use the other one, I could say 1 nanometer would be the same as 10 to the negative 6 millimeters. You'll get the same answer. So in this case, we cancel out the millimeters, and you're left with 0.00078 times 10 to the 6 nanometers. That's like moving the decimal over how many places? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer should be 780 nanometers. Okay? The metric system is quite easy because it's in, goes up by magnitudes of 10, right? Okay, let's look at number 3 in set B with regards to mass. We didn't do which one? We didn't do number 2 either? We didn't do this one? Did we do number 3? Okay, so we gotta do 2 and 3? Okay, it's fine. You can do all your work. I understand. Okay, milligrams to nanograms. Milligram is 10 to the negative 6 kilograms. And nanograms is 10 to the negative 12. Using the base unit of the kilogram, right? So, how many times bigger is a milligram? Relative to 9. So we could say 1 milligram is equivalent to 10 to the 6 nanograms, or the reverse. 1 nanogram is the same as 10 to the negative 6 milligrams. It's the same. In this case, we have 0.0045 milligrams. We want our answer in nanograms. So we're going to get rid of milligrams. Okay, so we could say 1 milligram is equal to 10 to the 6. So that would be let's cross out, 0.0045 times 10 to the 6. Again, moving decimal over 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to add 2 more zeros. So our answer would be 4,500 nanograms. Then we have picograms into micrograms. Nora, picogram, base unit of the kilogram. What is it? 10 to the what? 10 to the negative 15. Using the kilograms as the base unit. Micrograms? 10 to the negative 9. So which one's bigger? Microgram. 1 microgram would be how many times bigger relative to a picogram? Hey, by the way, it's just a coincidence that our last 3 examples have to do with 10 to the 6. Picograms, or we could say 1 picogram is the same as 10 to the negative 6 micrograms. Okay, they're equivalent. So in this case, we're going to go 100,000 picograms, and we want our answer in micrograms. So we're going to get rid of the picogram. So we could say 1 picogram is the same as 10 to the negative 6 micrograms. Sorry, that's the micro symbol. And pico cancels out. So 100,000 is 10 to the 5. So this should be 10 to the negative 1 or 0.1 micrograms. Okay, we move the decimal over to the left in this case. So those are the examples that we did not finish in part 1. Now, we were left with volume, okay? So let's look at volume now. For volume, probably you're not going to, you might come across tablespoons, teaspoons, ounces, but for the most part, it's going to be, I would suspect, these 4. Okay, liters, milliliters, cubic centimeters, and cubic meters. So what do you think the symbol would be for liter? Oh, by the way, the symbol for ton is not a capital T, it's a little t. You want to make that little adjustment? That's a mistake. Wasn't thinking clearly. So the symbol for ton, which is here, is actually a little t. Okay, not a big T. You want to fix that. Wow, what's going on today with this pen? Okay. So let's go back. So liter would be L. Milliliter would be cubic centimeter. So you could use cc, or you could do this, right? And for cubic meter, it's m cubed. So if we make the liter the base, a milliliter would be 10 to the negative 3. If we make, which two are the same? Right. So if you want to make a note, by the way, for yourself, that 1 ml is the same as 1 cc or cm cubed. Okay. You want to make yourself that little note. So in the future, well, you probably remember that because we just did a little activity with volume. if we make the centimeter cube the base, a meter is how many centimeters? 100. So 100 cubed should be a million. 100 times 100 times 100. So a meter cubed would be 10 to the 6 times bigger than a centimeter cubed. So let's look at our first example, okay? Convert 0.056 liters into milliliters. 0.056 liters, and we want our answer in milliliters. So we're going to multiply, well, what's the conversion? How many milliliters in 1 liter? It's 10 to the in 1 liter? No, hold on. Remember how you read this, right? 1 milliliter is 10 to the negative 3 liters. 1 liter is 10 to the 3 milliliters. So what do we, if we put a 1 here, what do we put here? 10 to the 3. If we put a 1 here, then this would be 10 to the negative 3. Either way, it's the same, right? You're going to get the exact same answer. So then our answer becomes, well, we move the decimal over 1, 2, 3. So it's 56 milliliters because the liters cancel out. All right. All right, one more. Oh, 2 more. Sorry. Convert 300,000 cubic centimeters into meters. So, cubic centimeters relative to the meter. So, is cubic centimeter smaller or bigger? Okay. So, 1 cubic centimeter would be how many? Actually, we did the other way around, right? We did cubic meters relative to the centimeter. So 1. Let's start with that one because that's the one we did. So 1 cubic meter is how many cubic centimeters? 10 to the 6, right? So 1 cubic centimeter would be 10 to the negative 6 cubic meters. So I'm hoping you've seen the symmetry by now. Okay? So we want to go cubic centimeters, so 300,000 cubic centimeters, and we want our answer in cubic meters. So we're going to get rid of the cubic centimeter. So again, if you want to do 1 cubic meter on top, then what would we put on the bottom? 10 to the what? 10 to the 6. We would use this. So it would be 300,000 divided by 10 to the 6. That's 3 times 10 to the 5, so that should be 0.3. Because again, we move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? There's our answer. And the last one, and you can fill in the tables, and then tomorrow we can take a look at what the answers are, okay? The last one is convert 450 liters into cubic meters. Sorry, I was just seeing if you were paying attention. Okay, 4,500 liters into cubic meters. Okay, so you might want to convert liters into milliliters first. We don't have to do it that way. Let's just do it that way. Let's convert liters into let's convert it first into cubic centimeters, okay? So remember, 1 liter is how many milliliters? Sorry, we're going to convert to milliliters, not cubic centimeters. Cross that out. Okay. But remember, milliliter is the same as a cubic centimeter, right? Okay, so 1 liter is 10 to the 3 milliliters, or 1 milliliter is 10 to the negative 3 liters. Okay, so 4,500 liters. Let's get an answer in milliliters. So 1 liter is the same as 10 to the 3 milliliters, right? So liters will cancel out, and then our answer is okay, 4.5 times 10 to the 6 milliliters. Now, remember, 4,500 is what? The same as 4.5 times 10 to the what? 10 to the 3, because how many, after the 4.5, there's 1, 2, 3 decimal places, so 4.5 times 10 to the 3, and then times 10 to the 3 is 10 to the 6. Now, we want our answer in cubic meters, though. So, remember, this is the same as what? 4.5 times 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters. They're equivalent, right? Now we could say, well, 1 cubic centimeter is the same as how many cubic meters? 10 to the minus 6? Or we can say 1 cubic meter is the same as 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters, right? So now we have 4.5 times 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters. We want to get rid of cubic centimeters, so we'll put cubic centimeters on the bottom. And we want our final answer to be in cubic meters. Okay? So we could say 1 cubic meter is the same as 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters. Now look, just by looking at it, what's going to happen here? What do you see here? 10 to the what? What do you see here? They're going to cancel out. What are you left with? 4.5 cubic meters. Okay? So that's it. You can fill in the table. Tomorrow we'll take up the table. Okay? Alright? Let me end the recording now.